Faith isn't just going around and around and around and around the bend just because it don't have anything to do. The Most High can't figure out when to stop. Like he can't figure out how to get you to the place he wants you to get you. No, he's giving you some time. You have to come to that awareness. You have to come to that awareness. All right, today's date is May 25th, 2017. My lesson is entitled, It's Not Your Faith. This lesson is communicating to us that your faith is okay. I think a lot of times the reason why we beat ourselves so much where faith is concerned is because of how we were cultured, particularly the way I see it through the New Testament teachings from the church. When I grew up in the church, there was all this talk about praying for healing and praying for blessing and praying for breakthrough. And, if you went up to the altars to get some prayer for something and it didn't happen, like for prayer for healing, it'd make you feel like, oh, you got to believe or it won't happen. And so you become so self-conscious about having faith. And then the trick of the Christian teachings is to impose guilt on you a lot. And so if it didn't happen, it'd be, oh, it's because you don't have any faith. And a lot of preaching would go on about not having faith and so on. And so by all the preaching that went on from you were a child, you kind of feel like if it doesn't happen, it's because you don't believe enough. At least this is how I'm looking at it, right? Because I know I've seen this happen for me. This is the way I went through it. And this is the way I saw a lot of people go through it. And so you start praying extra and fasting extra. And sometimes you're reading your Bible and having your own personal devotions way much more than you wanted to. A lot of us at times, including our parents who grew up in the church, grandparents as well, weren't always reading and fasting in those early days because we just loved the Lord so much. We're doing it because we wanted some blessings in life. Sometimes. Some of the times it's because we wanted a breakthrough for some reason. Sometimes it was us we're praying for, sometimes another person who was sick, a friend or family member. Sometimes we're just worried about someone else in our life or a friend, and we're praying and seeking the Lord for them. It wasn't always because we just loved the Lord so much. And so we were compensating with this extra time in devotions because of a need that we had, and we wanted to safeguard ourselves from faithlessness and not having enough faith. I'm telling you, the way I'm changing my life now and changing my mind and addressing the fear issues that has plagued my life in some massive ways from as a child, I'm telling you, it's not your faith. Now, sometimes you might not believe, but normally it's not your faith. We know when we look at the nation, there is a curse, so we're going to go through certain kinds of difficulties. So if you have a curse set up on you because the children of Israel, he's going to lend to you, you're not going to lend to him, and so on. That's not that you don't have faith. It's just that it don't matter how much faith you have, a curse is upon you, and you're only going to go so far. That's not a lack of faith. And so, in that way with the curses, we're limited in a certain way. But also in our personal lives, sometimes we beat ourselves up so much because of past conditioning. I want to point us here to the life of Abraham and look at something interesting about Abraham here that I know it's not going to be a stretch for us to connect with it. So I'm glad that it's not a difficult text. I think Abraham's life is mentioned probably through Genesis chapter 11 all the way through, I think, chapter 25 of Genesis. I'll start out here. I'll read a couple verses. I'll start at Genesis 11 verse 31. And it says, And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. So he's leaving now, because we know the story. It said that he was being directed by the Most High, so he leaves. Now they explain a little bit more what's happening there in chapter 12 and verse 1. And it says, Now the Most High had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. So we see that he left because he got some instruction from the Creator. It's not your faith. It's the instruction in your life that's bringing you through the places you're going through in your life. Yeah, sure, sometimes we've got some mistakes from certain choices that we've made. Sometimes we make some mistakes from choices because we're just dumb in certain areas, meaning unknowledgeable in certain areas. Sometimes our own bad habits cause us to make bad choices and so on. Different reasons we might make some mistakes, but in general, your life is being directed. Doesn't the Bible say that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Most High? Which means he's leading you. He's leading you. He's directing you through life. And if you think even through this captivity the Most High isn't directing us, how is he going to have a remnant if he doesn't lead and direct us through captivity? He's still with us. He's just not showing himself to us the way that he would show himself to the nation once the nation is restored. Right now it's still a time of punishment. But it's not your faith, because if we look here in the life of Abraham, he got up and he did some instruction. He clearly had the faith to believe. He was trusting in the Most High. And so he moved on that trust. He packed up his stuff and he left. Can you imagine if you got a word from the Most High? You need to go and you move to some other land. You've never been before. You don't have family there and whatever. You sell off all your furniture. You get rid of all the extra stuff because you need the extra money to start the journey to get to wherever you're going. Plus you can't carry all that stuff, so you just get rid of all this extra stuff that you have, your furniture you're connected to for so long and whatever, all the nice stuff. You get rid of it and you close off everything you have here and you go move to this other place. And when you go there, stuff goes bad. And you're scratching your head, you're wondering like, what, you're asking for prayer from friends, everybody. And sometimes you can't ask for prayer because you are so ashamed, you feel so dumb, you feel so bad. I told everybody online, I told all the friends, I told all my family members, God said, this is my faith. I believe this is God speaking to me. And the Most High is with me. And people are like, yeah, wow, that sounds like the Most High. And everybody's, now things start to go wrong in the new place that you're at. And you can't bear to even ask for prayer, because you can't let anybody know it's going that bad. And you're wondering, man, did I miss it? How did I miss it? Hey, listen, sometimes instead of cursing yourself and putting on yourself so much, why not start to change your mind and start to think different things? We know very well that this life has its ups and downs. Sometimes you got to stop long enough to start to think a different thought. Start to live by purpose, by intention. By the trust that you have. You had an intention to trust the Most High and to walk in this particular way. You checked out everything. You did the best you could. It's not always your faith that's lacking. You didn't always necessarily miss the Most High, His direction all throughout your life. It's just that at some earlier points in your life, you didn't know how to handle where you were at because you didn't have the growth and the knowledge and the experience in life to use faith and to realize how faith operates. And so you ended up dropping off or moving off the path when you were on the right path, but you thought you had it wrong and you thought you didn't have enough faith, so you left the path. But the Most High is doing stuff still to the trusting heart that's going to lead and redirect you back to where you're going, to where you should have been going. Because I've been learning for the past couple of years now some very, very clear things about fear and faith and trust in the Most High. And I can see how the Most High is leading me in some things that should have destroyed me. I'm just walking through only because of just pure trust in the Most High. And things are working through. Sure, some things aren't where I want it to be, but I'm telling you, I'd be lying if I told you some other things weren't breaking in my life that I wanted to break for the better. Some other things that was just challenging me and weighing me down. Things are being lifted slowly one by one. Not at my schedule, but at the timing of the Most High. And when they come, I'm just like, thank you, Most High. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just keep trusting. I can't see the way fully, but I see the way fully. What does that mean? Faith comes and it gives you the end point. And you have to learn how to get there by trust when you can't see all the finer details on the path to where you want to go. And that's where it takes faith now for you to take those daily steps. It's like if you have a dream, people who have a dream, they see themselves in like 20 years doing something great for what would be great for them in their life, and the way they see themselves and feel the Most High. So this is what they want to do, and they see themselves there in 20 years, and you get dreams of it all the time. You wake up in the night, you dream, and it's like, yeah, and every day this dream is on your mind of what you want to do, what you want to get done, and what you want to accomplish. And faith gives you snapshots of that, the glory of it, and you just don't even realize all the difficulties on the way until you start to live through it. But faith shows you the end point, and that's what it's more interested in giving to you. I'm going to cover that when I deal with another lesson. But just know for now that faith tries to give you the end picture for a particular reason. It's you who has to learn now how to walk daily with it. And stop doubting yourself, oh, I don't have enough faith. If you didn't have enough faith, you wouldn't be questioning your faith, because faith will make you question whether you got enough faith or not. So the moment you're questioning it, you likely have the faith, because faith lets you take a check, an inventory of what's going on inside your heart. Do I have enough faith for this journey? That's responsible faith right there. The presence of faith is letting you check to see, do I have enough? While at the same time, that same faith that lets you question, do I have enough, is leading you to further faith, to let you know it's okay if you trust. Because if I ever feel like I run out, the source is the Most High, so I will always have enough, because enough is leaning daily. Enough is trusting daily. Enough strength for the journey, enough faith for the journey is knowing I have Him to lean on by the power of word, by the source of word, by the source of my faith and my trust, which is the word of the Most High. That's why it says it's a light unto your feet and your pathway, right? Because that is the word, is the source that leads you so you can take the next step when you don't feel like you're able to, because you can't even see your way. He lights the pathway when it looks way too dark. Nothing can work out of this. I don't see how. Everything has arranged themselves in so many different complicated ways. It is impossible for me on my own to get through. But 3 years later, you're still moving through. Whether the stuff has cleared or not, even if it has not yet cleared, you've still moved through, closer to the time when it's going to fully break. Why? Because you are not dying in that situation. You are still moving through. So Abraham, he got to the promised land now, the place where the Most High says, go there to a land where I will show you. So let's look at the next verse now, Genesis 12, and let's run down to verse 4. So Abram departed as the Most High had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. So he departed as the Most High had instructed, and he went there. So he went to the place. So he had the faith to believe, the trust. So now the moment when something starts to happen bad in your life, is it that you don't have faith? Because it happened bad in his life as well, in the scripture here in Genesis chapter 12, in Abram's life. But does it mean that he didn't have faith? We clearly see that he had faith. But what we need to understand is that the presence of something bad in your path does not mean there is no presence of faith in your life. It's just clear that faith leads you down the path where things will go bad. Because faith, we just like to rush into situations because we want the blessing fast. We want things to work out. But faith likes to, it seems, meander through winding pathways, go up and down the mountain, go down the side of the hill and come back up the other hill and go down around and take many roads, turn. We just want to get there fast. We just want to get there, get there, get there. But faith is like, wait, let's go around this other bend. But I mean, it's right over there. Yeah, let's go. This is going to take, and you know this is going to take you probably like a couple more months. But faith is like, yeah, and you're like, this looks like it might take a couple more years if we end up going. But faith is like, no, come on with me. Let's go here and whatever. So faith likes to go through, right? For different reasons. Because the Most High is accomplishing certain things in you. Sometimes you go through certain things to build certain things in your heart, to have you question certain things in your heart about why you are the way you are. Why do you do the things you do? Why do you like this? Why do you have that kind of habit? Faith meanders through, instead of taking you directly to your destination, directly to your blessing, it meanders through different pathways, giving you the time for you to work things out in your heart with the Most High. Because when you get to a certain kind of blessing that the Most High wants to bless you with, if certain things aren't worked out in your heart and in your mind and in your habits, you will lose some or all of the blessing that waits for you. When you finally get it, you're going to mess up certain parts of the blessing, possibly losing all of it, because you didn't build up certain parts of your character and you didn't watch your heart and work out certain habits and so on, and watch your thought patterns of negativity, so that when certain challenges come after you get the blessing, you drop the blessing just to go fight some kind of fight with things or systems that will take you down when you're not supposed to be in certain fights at certain points. But all those things get worked out in your heart through the time. So I think sometimes the reason why some of us just miss it is because we don't realize what we should be doing in the time when we are having to wait. Faith isn't just going around and around the bend just because it don't have anything to do. The Most High can't figure out when to stop. Like he can't figure out how to get you to the place he wants you to get you. No, he's giving you some time. You have to come to that awareness through searching, seeking, and praying. You have to come to that awareness that there is something I must be doing now. Since the Most High can clearly bring me to the point of my destination right away and he's not doing it, there's got to be some other reason for this. Well, if I can't find the reason, then let me just find a reason in my own self to make myself as prepared, working on myself to make myself as better, working on myself to make myself as ready for it, so that whenever the blessing gets here and the Most High says, this is your stop, I'm ready to take it on. I'm ready to move into it. I'm ready. Some of us haven't gotten to the destination yet because the Most High knows you aren't ready yet. And if you're not ready, how can he give you a ready miracle when you're not ready to take on the blessing yet? Because then you're going to waste the blessing. You're going to waste the years that he took giving you the time to prepare yourself. You're going to waste up the opportunity. And even all the people who should be coming to know the Most High's Torah and coming to the Most High and coming to lean on you in order to find a source and a wealth of information and teaching and instruction and support from the Most High through what you can offer to them in your own life, those people will be missed. They're going to miss an opportunity in you to learn more of the Most High and to receive the support in their own heart, in their own life, with their own struggles, because you didn't take the time to get ready when the Most High was giving you some time on your own personal journey. You got to get ready in your heart. Everything has to be cautioned in your life. Everything has to be just looked over again. You got to lift up all the rocks, why did I live like this years ago? Why am I still living like this? Why have I not changed this or that in my life? Why? You got to get yourself ready. So Abraham didn't have a problem with faith. But we see instead that his faith caused him to pack his stuff up, get his family and his servants and so on, and they moved and they went to the place. Now here's where it goes wrong now in Abraham's life. Verse 10. And there was a famine in the land. Read that again for you. And there was a famine in the land. And there was a famine in the land. And Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. You see what I'm trying to tell you here now? This man had the faith to trust that he was hearing the instruction from the Most High. And he went on and he followed him. Oh, I'm going to get me some blessing. Like you're rubbing your hands together. Ooh, rubbing your palms together. Yeah, I'm blessed now. When this thing kicks in, I'm blessed. I'm going to be blessed. You're telling everybody, yeah. The Most High says this and that. I'm investing in this. I'm investing in that. I'm doing whatever. I'm paying on 10,000 on this. I'm investing whatever. And and the stuff causes some problems later on. And you're wondering, did I hear from the Most High? He got to the land of blessing, and when he got into the land of blessing, there ended up being a famine there. So the land of blessing, or the land of abundance, became the land of emptiness, and the land of famine, and the land of hunger. So that there became hunger in his life, there became hunger among his servants, there became famine among his whole house. And he says, man, we're going to die if we stay here. We've got to leave. And what happens next? This faithful man got to the land of blessing and had to leave the land of blessing and run down to Egypt, what we would call the slave land. And so he leaves the land of blessing. And can you imagine the times when you feel like, man, you got the blessing, or you're so close to it, and you got to turn and detour and run and take off to go accept another bad situation that's worse than the blessing you were about to move into, or the blessing that you were already into, because something went wrong and you wonder, how could it have gone so bad? He got into the land of blessing and ended up having to leave the blessing and flee and run over to Egypt, because a famine started to eat away at the very land of the blessing. And he could not enjoy the blessing the way he wanted to, because a famine came right into the situation. And sometimes some situation is coming at you and you're wondering, my goodness, how do I handle this? But the hand of the Most High is still with you. It's not a lack of faith. It's the direction of the Most High. Verse 12. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, we know he's talking to Israel, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save their life. Why? He's saying, oh, you're beautiful, and so on. So we know how the rest of the story goes, so I'm done with the reading now. What happens is that he moves into the place of blessing, and then he has to flee because of a famine. So something went wrong after he was blessed. And then further than that, he moves from the land of blessing into a land now where he's going to be struggling in this new place. Now he's struggling with fear. So now you see the slippery slope, blessing to famine. Now, as if the famine isn't bad enough, he moves on. Now he's dealing with fear in the new land of Egypt that he's at. He's now living in fear because they're going to kill him, he says, to take his beautiful wife. But as bad as it got, all of us will agree that Abraham remained a faithful man. Very faithful man. Today we sing songs, Father Abraham had many sons had Father Abraham. And so listen, it's not your faith. Faith just takes you through meandering situations as the Most High is working things out. You never know where that bad situation is going to lead you. You never know what purposes the Most High is working out for you or for somebody else. When he went down into Egypt, eventually in time to come, Joseph was down there as well, and there was a history of our people being there, and it ended up becoming the place where the children of Israel would grow. Even after Joseph went there, they could connect with that history of even Abraham being there and Joseph being there and so on. And so the children of Israel grew in that place where Abraham connected with. You think when Joseph was in prison, he didn't remember the stories of hearing Abraham there, and that the memory of that didn't comfort him? All of our forefathers, now that we know that we're the children of Israel, their memories comfort us to know that they actually walked and trusted and believed in the Most High, and he took them through their difficulties. Even when they went into captivities for their sins, he brought them back out. The very memory of them coming back out let Joseph continue to believe that he's going to get out of this prison one day as well, because he had a dream that said, I'm coming out of this. sheaves are going to bow down to me. That's why he could ask the butler, hey, you guys remember me when you come up before the Pharaoh, remember me. And they didn't care. He could continue to ask to look for a way to get out because he believed he was going to get out because he had the memory of Abraham and anybody else of their people who had passed through the land before. The memories of our forefathers is very important. That's why the Most High said, seek for the old past. Ask your fathers of the past. The memory of it all. But in order for him to even have that memory that actually helped to drive his faith, somebody had to go down in Egypt before him. The people who are going to benefit from the skill of deliverance that the Most High will place in your hands, in your mouth, in your life, are going to come from the paths that you walk when you realize